So I thought this might be a good day to show because it's pretty simple. I mean, I think pretty much all my what I eat days are pretty simple. There's not a lot of cooking or preparing anything. This is pretty much a typical day for me. I very rarely cook anything during the day, and then on 3 to 4 nights a week, I'll like make something for dinner because I don't like to cook and I don't want to do it. And then like I'll have usually kind of a more prep day where I wash fruits and stuff like that and maybe make like a salad, which is what I did on this day. I prepped strawberries and blueberries and grapes. And then I made this yummy salad. This is a really good tip if you don't like greens. You can still have salad without having greens. It kind of dawned on me that for myself, and I'm sure for other people, that might be the hang up that keeps you from eating more like raw vegetables and more salads. For me, it's lettuce. Lettuce goes bad quickly. There's a whole feeling thing when it's wet. That's just nasty. You know what I mean? Like washing it and chopping it. It's just kind of gross. Sometimes I really, really like, romaine and iceberg lettuce, but generally I would rather that it's not there. I would rather have the cucumber and the tomato and, avocado, onion, whatever. And again, it goes bad so quickly. So often we end up wasting a lot of it and prepping it. And I know you can do the mason jar thing and that works pretty well, but you still have to chop up a bunch of lettuce. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't like it. So I really, really like something like this, which is kind of more of a marinated thing. You can make it in advance as well. And it's very, very simple. It's just cucumber seeded, or you can, scoop out the seeds, or you can get a seedless cucumber. Tomatoes, preferably something sweeter like a cherry or a grape tomato. I really love those cherub tomatoes. They're so stupid expensive, but oh my God, they're so, so good. And red onion, some sliced red onion, and some bell pepper, either red or orange or yellow bell pepper. Oh, some scallions, which we actually grow our own scallions just all the time. Literally buy scallions from the store and use them up, but save, I think my partner saves like an inch or two of the bottom with the roots, and just stick them in the ground and see what happens. We don't really do anything special. I think when it's dry, he'll go out there and water every once in a while. And then with all of that, just some sort of vinegar oil dressing. You can use a pre-made Italian dressing. I just did a red wine canola oil because I don't like the flavor of raw olive oil, red wine vinegar, a little bit of, I think, oregano, maybe some basil, salt, pepper. Just look up any simple dressing that you think sounds good to you. It's going to go well with this. It's just cucumber, tomato, and onion, right? Pretty much anything is going to work with this. And yeah, it's good immediately, but if you let it sit for a day or so, it's going to be really good. And it should last in the fridge before it starts getting, the cucumbers start getting kind of soggy and the tomatoes, 3 days, maybe 4 days. So I made that and then just was I need a wrap. I need a hummus and this salad thing kind of wrap. And what kind of protein can I have with that? Ooh, I'll do some tofu and I'll fry it in a pan because we just got a new pan. You guys, I have given up. I want nonstick cookware and I want it to be nonstick all the time. And that's just not a thing. It just doesn't exist. And so I've given up and have basically decided that I'm just going to buy a new pan every 6 months to a year. As soon as it starts running out of its nonstick and sticking in spots, I'm getting rid of it and I'm getting a new pan. I know that sucks and it's wasteful, but I'm done with it and I'm done trying to deal with cast iron and all of its bullshit and trying to make it nonstick and then keep it nonstick. It's just ridiculous. It seems like the only way you can have a pan stay nonstick all the time is to get a cast iron and literally season it every single time you cook. Every single time you cook something, then take the time to put a tiny bit of oil and heat it up and let it cool. Who's doing that? It's like Martha Stewart, right? She probably does that. She spends all day making her bed and seasoning her cookware. You just need to spend more. You need to get one of those big $100 something pans, but you look up the reviews of those and it's the exact same as the pans that are $30. There are a few people who are oh my God, I've had this pan for 2 years and it's still beautifully nonstick. And then you have a sizable, majority of the reviews that are I had this pan a month and it's shit, or, it's not perfectly or, really flat, or it bubbles up randomly and the nonstick's not, So whatever, I just found a pan on Amazon. I think it was like $40, and I've used it several times now. I think I've had it like a month or so. And of course it's wonderful right now. Like every pan is wonderful within the first like month or two. And I'm sure it'll go to shit soon enough, and screw it, I'll just buy another goddamn pan. I'm not being silly. Like, I really am aggravated about this. You know, cooking with a pan where everything sticks, it can ruin everything that you make. There's a lot of things that you just can't make in a pan like that. You know, you can't do like anything breaded, right? And things burn, and it's like you're making something and there's a little piece stuck over here and now it's burning and your kitchen just smells like ass. It sucks, man. Cooking already is a pain in the ass. It's when you have little things like that, dull knives and terrible cookware, it just makes it infinitely worse. I know this is like a first world problem. So I got a new pan and I was like, hey, instead of baking the tofu, I can actually cook it in the pan. This is going to be amazing. And it was. Anyway, so I made a wrap with tofu and hummus and a tomato cucumber salad. It was really good. With the wrap, I had a clementine and I also had an apple. Oh, I need to talk about apples. It's been so long since I've had a rant about apples. So I think last time I said, you know, that Fuji's are really good, but pink ladies are like my favorite. You know, green apples are good. They're crunchy, but they're just too tart. And maybe I mentioned galas and that they tend to be like kind of mealy. They're really sweet, but kind of mealy. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I had like one gala apple that I didn't like, or maybe they've completely changed them, but they had them on sale like a few weeks ago. And my kid was like, these, I want these because they were so red, you know? And I was like, well, all right, fine. So I got a couple. They're so good. They're so crunchy. They're really sweet and so crunchy. They don't really have any tartness, which I do like some tartness. They're fairly sweet, so my kid really likes them. But man, they're like so crunchy. So maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh, and you can see where Toddler has taken bites out of just the middle of the slices because of course they don't like the skins. Oh, and I also had another half of a wrap because Toddler was like, I want one. So I made half of one and they took like 2 bites of it. If you're wondering why so many women end up gaining weight or not able, you know, having trouble losing their pregnancy weight after being pregnant, after having kids, it's because we're constantly eating leftovers from our kids, like just never finishing their food. And it's always like a little bit or something. It's like, well, I don't want to put a wrap in the fridge because it's just going to get gross and soggy. And then who's going to eat it then? Like, I might as well just eat it now. Oh, coffee. I had coffee in the morning and then coffee later in the afternoon. Oh, I got this cute little bat cup. They have the sales, you know, after Halloween, and they were having the sales and they had this little cup. It's so cute. Then I had a snack of those cherub tomatoes, the rest of them, what I didn't put in the salad, and some roasted salted pistachios. I honestly don't get when people are like, yeah, nuts, you can just eat so many, you know, if you're not careful. I don't know. I don't think I can really do that. I find them really filling, even when they're salted and super tasty, unless they're like, they've got like a glaze on them, like some cinnamon sugar kind of thing, or like what are those Trader Joe's ones that are like the mesquite smoked or something? Like, unless they're ridiculously flavored like that, I can't really eat that much in a sitting. Just roasted salted pistachios, and pistachios are like my favorite. I can still only eat like an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half if I'm just absolutely ravenous. Then I had a bowl of fruit and some Cocoa Whip. I was absolutely ravenous waiting to make dinner. I had to wait a while and I had to eat something. So I think I had some peanut butter pretzels too. Yeah, I think I had like a handful of those. And then I had some of the strawberries and blueberries and grapes that I'd washed that morning, and some Cocoa Whip. And it looks like ice cream because it was in the freezer. It's very similar to the, is it the So Delicious mousse? Wait, So Delicious makes Cocoa Whip too, don't they? That whatever, 300 calorie per pint mousse stuff that I thought was really good. The couple flavors that I tried, it definitely has that kind of consistency and pretty similar taste as well. And then eventually I had a baked potato with some scallions on top, some more of that yummy cucumber, tomato, onion salad, and a cheese sauce. And I made something that I hadn't made before. I don't think. I made one of those potato carrot cheese sauces that honestly just sound, nope, not for me. That's not going to taste like cheese, and it's going to be real just starchy in texture, and like, nah, man, that sounds hella gross. But I was like, you know what? My kid might actually like this because they don't like the kind of cream sauce that I make, the cashew cream sauce that I make all the time for pasta. That's, mostly cashew, and it's got some like mustard in it for flavoring and salt and pepper and some bouillon and stuff like that. They just don't like that flavor. It's not super complex or intense or anything, but I guess it's just a little too much for them. So I thought that maybe they would like something like this that's just very simple. It's just flavored with garlic and onion and salt, garlic powder and onion powder and salt. And then, like I said, potatoes and carrots that are cooked. This actually has some oil too. There are some that don't have any nuts or oil or anything, which that, again, no. This one has like actually a lot of oil in it. So it's like, okay, this might actually be okay. And honestly, it is. It's not terrible. It's pretty tasty. The texture is, it's definitely got that starchy thing. It's not going to fool anyone, I don't think. But I don't think it's terrible by any means. And hey, it's a fairly easy way to get, carrots in you, right? And my kid actually liked it. They shared that potato with me. None of the scallions, of course. They didn't want any of the green, but they did share and eat like quite a bit of the potato with the cheesy sauce. And they had no idea that carrots were in it. And they still have no idea that carrots are in it. They had more of it today with what? Oh, they were dipping some crackers into it. And last night they had it with some pretzels. First they were having it with some of the tofu that I made, put it into little sticks for them, but it was too chewy. So that was a problem. So then they switched to pretzels. Fine. That was pretty good. Not incredibly filling because I forgot to put some beans. I meant to add some chickpeas, on the potato and warm them up, with the cheese sauce and stuff, but I just forgot and didn't realize till I was like 3/4 of the way done with the meal. I was like, oh, okay. So then, honestly, fairly soon after that, I had a Soylent. These are just really great for me to have around. They're just so easy. And sometimes, like, at the end of the day, I'll realize, like, man, I just kind of had carbs, like, all day. Maybe I should have some more protein. Or I am so busy, I really need to get work done. I don't really have time to stop and make anything. I'm just gonna grab one of these and take it, to my desk with me. Oh, and you may have noticed that the bottles are different now. The packaging, it used to be in those bottles. Now it's in those little, cartons. I think that's because a lot of this stuff kind of comes in those cartons. Probably cheaper, right? It's probably a lot cheaper. So there is less product now in that. This calling food product just, I don't know, kind of inherently makes it gross. There's less in there now. There's less of the drink. It used to be 400 calories and 20 grams of protein. Now it's 300 something and 16 grams, I think. And I think that's it. That's honestly not that much, I don't think, unless I ate way more pistachios than I think I did. Again, I did have some peanut butter pretzels, but yeah, I remember feeling pretty hungry when I went to bed. It was already late. I didn't want to eat anything because then I'd have to drink something and then I'd be up in the middle of the night having to pee. And that's just a pain. I'm really trying to not drink, late into the night so I can sleep through the night. I've been doing that like pretty well lately. I haven't been waking up. I wake up, with my alarm or right before it in the morning. So that's been pretty nice. Oh, speaking of alarm, I didn't talk about exercise. I have been consistently exercising for several weeks now. I missed a few days. My back was really bad. And then I think I was just working on a video, just kind of working the entire day. And I wanted to start early. So I was like, I won't exercise today. But yeah, I've been very, very consistent. Right now, I'm actually doing the Body Fit by Amy November rotation. Again, my back just has not been super great. So I'm doing hers instead of like Kathy or something, whose workouts tend to be quite a bit longer and a lot more intense. So I'm doing something a little bit more easy, lightening my weights, a little bit shorter, so I have more time to devote to kind of just stretching. I know a lot of you guys mentioned my boobs last time I talked about my back. And yes, I'm aware. I have looked into reduction many, many times. I've watched a lot of videos and, accounts, and I don't think I've read or seen a single one where someone was regretful. I mean, every single one was like, I wish I had done this earlier. I'm so happy I did this, blah, blah, blah. It's not a question of insurance or being approved. I think typically they'll cover like half of it or something like that. I'm pretty positive I would get approved for one. I've had just enormous boobs for so long. Like, who am I without them? It's like, I know that's silly, but they're a defining feature for me. I know, but they are. I know I would get used to it. And again, I'm sure it would be like, wow, my back's better. Of course this is better. Although I don't know, it could have nothing to do with my low back. Who knows? I do have one leg that is noticeably shorter than the other, or one that's noticeably longer than the other. I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. Yeah, I'm going to see a physical therapist, actually, hopefully in the next couple months or so too. But yeah, I have thought about this. I'm still thinking about it. I'm sure I'll still be thinking about it for years to come. Honestly, the big thing for me, nipple sensation, pretty much everything I've read is like, yeah, it's gone, or like almost gone, other than just I am my boobs, I'm a big tittied gal and that's who I am. Other than that, I would be really sad. I would be really sad if my nipples were just like, I'm just flicking them and I can't feel anything. So that's where I am with that. But like I said, I am going to see a physical therapist because I do with my leg. This is something that I noticed a few years ago. I actually think it was a comment on the video where it's like, I show my body, and someone was like, are your leg, or no, maybe it was a different one. Maybe it was the thigh gap video. I don't remember, but someone was like, it looks like your hips are uneven. And I was like, oh shit, it does. Okay, whatever. And then later, I think I remembered that again, and I brought it up to my partner. I looked more into it, and it's like, yeah, obviously that can cause back pain. I actually asked a family member, like I just went up to them and like stood up straight and was like, hey, does it look like one of my legs is like longer than the other? And they were like, oh yeah, that one, just immediately. So I'm thinking that could be part of it. There's a number of things, I have relatively tight hamstrings. That's kind of what I'm working on now, stretching those. My hip flexors are kind of tight. I sit a lot, so pretty much everyone has shortened, tight hip flexors. My posture is actually really terrible when I sit. My partner just pointed those out to me. I do the whole rounded shoulders, neck forward kind of thing, which is awful and can contribute to low back pain as well, and upper back pain, which is what happens when I work a lot at the computer. It's like my upper back and my neck they die. And so after I work, I literally just lay on the couch. Like I can't move. It's so awful and so sore. And I'll even, if I do it long enough, like I'll get a tension headache and everything. It's terrible. So yeah, I absolutely need to fix that. If not for my low back, for just all of this, what's happening, up here, and stretching this as well, because if you're doing this, you're going to have shortened, tighter pectoral muscles, right? So I'm working on all that. Still want to go see a PT and see what they have to say. And I'll think more about the whole boob aspect of it, I guess. Maybe I'll get a consultation and talk to someone. Probably not. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. And I will have a new video very soon. I'm about to record another one, actually. I haven't done that in a while. I used to record like 2 or 3 videos at a time, pretty much all the time. And now I almost exclusively do one. So I don't know. Should I change my shirt? Is that going to be a problem? Oh yeah, bitch, I'm a pumpkin queen. I am the pumpkin queen.